Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We'll take the dog and then the human. The fun will never end. It's Adventure Time.
Hello YouTube, this is AdventureTimeOooNews, and we're going to answer your questions, but first, I am sorry for the uploading the video so late. People were squeezing in their questions there, so I redid the video and did this, but that's over now, and it is time for Question Time!
On a tropical island.
Alright, let's start off with Tiki Thunder Mablack. What is Simo? Simo is the newest character off the episode Pahoy. He is smaller than Bimo. He comes in a set of 3, Amo, Bimo, and Simo. He's a tannish color, less accessories and buttons, so you can tell he doesn't do as much, but it's pretty cool to have a new character introduced. As Pendleton Ward himself said, during the 4th and 5th season, he's going to introduce new characters, which has been done. Next up is Avitia21. Did Bimo have a family? Well, I think that Bimo, from the set of 3, they were meant to probably communicate sort of with people, but they didn't have, like, emotions or anything, and then they genetically got, like, transfused into emotional creatures, and they probably, each of the sets that came with each other, probably joined together as a family, and then every single one grouped together. That's what I think. So, that is that, and next up, we have Hank Reardon. This is about the episode Hoy, when Finn forgot Finn forgot about the reality that happened in Pillow World. And he asks, did Finn really forget, or is he just suppressing his memories of his old wife and kids back in Pillow World? Well, I myself think that, maybe he did forget. Maybe there was some kind of, like, magical thing with the door that once you leave or enter, you forget about it. Or he could have been suppressing it after he remembered, or after his girlfriend FP called and told him she got the joke, and he was probably happy. I don't know, maybe someone else can answer that question, but I really don't know. Next we have Nate the Human. What are your thoughts on Rebecca Sugar leaving the series and the impact that it will have on the music of AT, since nearly all the original songs were by her? I think songs will become more plain and less songs will be created unless they hire someone to make new songs that was better than Rebecca Sugar, which I don't think that's possible. But yeah, you got a good point there. It will make a big impact. Even though some people might notice it, might not notice it, the Adventure Time will probably start to dull down until they find someone else who can do this. Alright, next we have Adventure Tregs. Is Bimo a girl or a boy? Well, Bimo doesn't have a gender, because they always call him, baby, or they call him, little girl, or sometimes they call him... He's a gender swap. They call him different gender names, and he wants to be a boy, but that doesn't mean he was ever a boy, or that he is a boy, or that he's male, because the reason he wants to be a boy is because he's around Finn and Jake all the time, and they always make him feel like he's, a boy. He wants to do what they do, even though it's kind of obviously original to us what we do, like brushing our teeth and stuff. He wants to become a boy, and he can't really talk. He wants to communicate with someone else, talking about how he thinks he's a boy, so he makes up the football in the mirror, because he can't talk to Finn and Jake about it, because Finn's already a boy, and there's no one else that would really believe that he's a boy, so he wants to do that for that emotional power. Now, next up we have Oswald. What is the relationship between Marceline and Princess Bubblegum? They used to have a relationship with the Door Lords. Marceline wanted to kill them, Princess Bubblegum wanted to lock them up, and they were door lords, so they got out, and they got mad, and they kind of went away. That's what probably ended the relationship. But before that, they probably had quite a close friendship, since Princess Bubblegum has that one princess plant she eats that makes her younger. She was probably alive for thousands of years too, that's what I think on that. And Marceline was already a vampire, and Marceline is 1003 years old because she was 7 on the Simon and Marcy 996 years ago on that exact day. So she's about 1003 years old, and Simon is about 1043 years old, or Ice King. That is about the episode, what is it? What did I just say? Simon and Marcy. Next we have Ben Nation 14. Do you think from the episode Bad Little Boy, Marceline gave us a hint that she likes Finn a little more than she says she does, judging by how she made Fiona and Marshall all flirty with each other? Yes, that and the episode with the movie night. The episode with the movie night, Finn wanted to say, I just want to go as friends, and she said, alright, but no tons, so you can kind of tell there's some connection. Alright, back to Oswald real quick. He had a second question. How does his adventures in Ooh reflect Finn's actual feelings? Most of the stuff he does is kind of pointless and for fun, so I think Ooh is just like his playground sort of thing. That's what he thinks. But after he encountered the Lich, he finally figured out he's got to be ready for anything serious. Just because the world has changed, but he didn't really notice it change because he was too young for that. He never really experienced that whole change, so he doesn't have that emotional draft from the past. So he's kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. But then finally with the Lich, he took it seriously. Like, because if the Lich made the wish, and they didn't change it correctly, it would have all been over, and the whole thing would have changed. And, we got, one more. Let me get to it real quick. It is, do you think, by Veronica, real quick. This is from Veronica. Do you think Peppermint Butler is hiding something? Yes and no. We kind of already know he came from the death whatever place because he told Finn and Jake to tell hi to Death. I think he was sent by Death to do something. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, he's hiding something. He's got some plan or something. I don't know. His soul was sent by Death. That's what I'm guessing, into Peppermint Butler, and his aura. It's probably his aura is probably his demon form or something like that. Like, if they looked into the aura thing of his, but he didn't want them to, he would probably look like some demon or something, or an outline of a demon. That would be creepy. That would be really, yeah. I don't get Peppermint Butler. He's just a really awkward guy. Alright, next up is Julia Cortez. What are your thoughts on A Glitch is a Glitch episode? Well, first of all, she gave a thumbs down to this. I would say it was a good episode, but it just kind of confused me, and the point is, it was released on the day of April Fool's, and it's supposed to confuse you and trick you and play jokes, and make jokes, like when Finn was doing the animation right at the beginning, he says, man, whoever does this animation stuff really has no life. Now, they did 3D animation. 2D animation is like half as hard as 3D animation, because it's 3D. And they did the whole intro. I think some Russian guy did the intro, or German guy, I forgot. But yeah, they took a lot of time on that, so that was a joke on their behalf. And yeah, that is questions. And now it is time for theory time. Alright, the first theory is the numbers on the back of the Enchiridion, 8, 13, and 21, is the date the giant crater in the side of the Earth was made, August 13th, 2021. This makes sense because when Finn went to Mars, that Abraham Lincoln guy, he held up a penny in that episode, and it had 20, and then the other two numbers were sort of gooed out by this substance, but the first letter looked like 1, and I think that it says 2010 because that's when the Adventure Time was first made. The first episode was released, the Slumber Party one in Lumpy Space. And yeah, that's that one. So the next one is Marceline had a bite mark on her neck. This implies that she was once human. If she was born a vampire, she wouldn't have the bite marks on her neck. When the Great Mushroom War began, Marceline's human parents couldn't bear to see her die, so they made a pact with the Lord of Evil so she could live forever as a vampire. This makes a lot of sense because once you read this, there's no way of going back. It just takes over your intellect. You just can't turn back on any other theory about Marceline. This is the true factor because she used to be human and she didn't have the bite marks on her neck, so that's probably what happened. Maybe Simon did this pact, or her dad right before he abandoned her, or her mother died before she met Simon. So, well, actually she was seeing Simon with their mother, and then her mother died, so then Simon took her because her dad abandoned her. But yeah, maybe Simon did it. Alright, so the next theory is Finn's birthday is 3/14, which is the air date of Mystery Train. This is also an inside joke about the series because 3/14 is Pi Day, a mathematical term, since Finn's earliest catchphrases included mathematical and totally rhombus. This makes sense because they would try to imply or try to give clues about something. That's what these guys that make Adventure Time are all about. They're trying to give clues and apply things that are really complex and try and make people have a lot of theories and mix and twists to this stuff. Alright, we're going to do 2 more theories, and one of them is Princess Bubblegum was created by scientists towards the end of the Mushroom War because all the theories that candy can survive a nuclear explosion. They wanted to create a perfect ruler for a post-apocalyptic world. PB then awoke after the war was just over and created her loyal subjects using some of the only substances that could survive the war, candy. This makes a lot of sense because candy is just like flesh, and it's harder to rip and tear. So that makes a lot of sense that it can't get infected or contaminated because it's not a living substance. Now, the last one is Earth as we know it ends when the world powers have an all-out nuclear war with one another. The energy release tears the fabric of space, allowing for portals or wormholes to open into other dimensions. The vamps and other super-evolved beings, i.e. the Lich, survive the Mushroom War and take over the world. Few humans remain above ground. The rest are put into cryosleep in bunkers below ground. The humans that are stuck above ground slowly die out, leaving only a matter of thousands left in present-day Ooh. Yes, that could be because in Simon and Marcy, the ones that were up there, they mutated into zombies, and they eventually probably all died out from starvation, and then other things mutated and learned how to take over, which is now Ooh. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense. These theories I just read, they really capture your intellect, and you just can't turn back. They're just amazing. So yeah, this is Adventure Time Ooh News, and we just talked about
Adventure Time!
Support Adventure Time Ooh News by subscribing our YouTube channel, adding us on Facebook, liking our Facebook page, and asking us many questions about
Adventure Time!
at the following links in the description, and they will be answered every Thursday in my upcoming Question Time videos, where I will talk about theories and answer any questions you have about Adventure Time. This is Adventure Time Ooh News, and we're out!